Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. It's your boy Town Biz coming out of that east side though. All right, so check this out. So April 6th, which is the Monday, Bill and Devin Haney will have to make an appearance in court due to the altercation that happened between them and basically Tiger Johnson. So basically it appears that Tiger Johnson's manager decided to pursue the law and get the cops involved and what we would call a little altercation. You've seen this happen quite a few times, but nevertheless, it appears that Bill and Devin Haney were arrested, and now they have to appear in court on charges of assault. And you're also hearing behind the scenes that Tiger Johnson and his management team are considering suing the Haneys, and there is no public outcry. But the thing is, and this is why a lot of these people on the internet are a bunch of trick babies and bitches and punks and sap suckers, you know, because they don't never had the same energy. Now, everybody just thought it was just horrendous. Everybody thought it was the worst thing they ever seen. Talk about, oh, you sued and all this kind of stuff. And you saw people in the comment section every time Devin Haney just makes an appearance or does an interview, people bring up suing. But ain't nobody making comments and making videos about Tiger Johnson and his team basically pressing charges and looking at, you know, you know, legal, legal ramification against Bill and Devin Haney. Like I said, these people don't have the same energy, but then again, at the end of the day, people are just inconsistent with who they like and who they don't like and stuff. But like I said, you see a lot of these goofy ass lames sitting up here talking about they don't respect the lawsuit and all that kind of stuff. Like it's any of your fucking business. Most of you bitch ass niggas and you non-blacks don't know a left jab from a lead right or uppercut. Nothing. Don't know nothing about boxing. But you sit up here and talk slick in the comment section because your punk ass don't never come outside, and the only thing you is good for is talking shit behind a computer. And we all know that most of y'all are probably fat and obese, live with your mother, wear glasses with the tape around it, you know, and probably obese and a lot of different things, to go beyond that. But like I said before, it just proves what I've been saying. The temperament is just comes down to who they like in all likelihood. But yet, once again, you guys are talking about Devin is a snitch and all this kind of stuff, which, by the way, he didn't snitch on Ryan Garcia. But then, like I said, all these fighters had an opinion on these dudes. All these dudes threw Devin under the bus and stuff. And I just don't understand this thing with these black fighters, how that some of them had this love affair with, and particularly Mexican fighters. Just the shit is just weird. It's just really weird. These dudes just pander too much for my liking. And I'm just keeping it a buck. But then here it is. Like I said, these people be trying to live by this so-called street code. Like I said, most of you bitches ain't even from the streets or know nothing about the streets. I guarantee you, if I gave you some supplies and told you to go into the kitchen and make a batch, you wouldn't know what the fuck to do. Not that I'm condoning that type of stuff, but I'm just saying a lot of y'all is just fake. And most of y'all are internet trolls who don't come out the house very much. Your claim to fame is being mousepad mobsters, which there is a lot of. But like I said, where's the videos going in on Tiger Johnson, calling him a snitch and all that kind of stuff? At the end of the day, it shouldn't even have came to the point to where there was a scuffle. But Tiger Johnson, who's trying to play, well, I don't know how none of this stuff happened, was basically online trolling, talking crazy. And then, when he seen Sean, at the end of the day, some shit went down and it didn't go too well for Tiger Johnson. And did go well on two occasions. All Bill was trying to do was break up everything. But then you got people encouraging them, oh, you should press charges against Bill. You should sue them and stuff. But these are the same motherfuckers that attack Devin and talk about they don't respect Devin. And like, why should Devin care what you losers think? And fuck your respect. Most of you guys don't even respect yourselves. So I'm just saying. And truth just need to be put out there. So now you got Bill Nam, who, from what I've been told and from what I heard, that they may be banned from ever being able to participate in any type of event at Madison Square Garden. Keep in mind, Devin was supposed to be on the broadcasting crew. He was supposed to assist in calling the fight, and they basically pulled him from that assignment. But like I said, it's just the inconsistency with these people. And then every time Devin makes an appearance, you got these goofballs constantly bringing up that lawsuit. Well, first of all, there ain't going to be no lawsuit because Devin dropped the lawsuit. And like I said, I don't understand this hatred that people got for Devin and Bill. But then again, a lot of these dudes is house Negroes. And they hate the fact that Bill is moving and shaking and making sure that Devin don't get screwed. Devin had to make a lot of sacrifices to get where he is. And I commend Devin. He took short money 2 times to fight Kambosos. You know, he did the heavy lifting, as Errol Spence would like to say. He really did have to do the heavy lifting and sacrifice. And most of these guys know they wouldn't have did what Devin did. But that's the reason why a lot of these dudes hate him, because to a certain degree they wish they could have a Bill in their corner working alongside of them. But yeah, this whole thing about lawsuits and going to court and pressing charges against people, like I said before, and this is the thing, these fighters love to try to pass themselves off to dudes that just came from the gritty streets of this place and that place. Okay. Are you a businessman or are you a street dude? Okay. Keep it 100. Just be, keep it 100. Just be more about being a businessman, not Keyshawn the businessman, or just, but stop trying to put the persona like you just came from the mean street, just like Tank be trying to act like he just so street. And like I say, all that nigga do is sit up here and argue with people on the internet, never really be trying to fix himself to fight some of the big wigs out there. Now, despite whether you question Shakur or whether you question other people as potential opponents for, Tank, just need to be said. Tank ain't moving and shaking to get the very best fights out there. He's very calculating and particular of who he wants to share a ring with. So keep in mind, while Devin is out there trying to fight the best guys available. So let's just keep it above. But anyway, this whole court thing, just not a good look. Gotta be said. Anyway, appreciate you guys. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.